So what's the deal? What's the deal, right? What is the deal with Instigation Nation? People are like, okay, looks cool, like the universe video, hip little soundtrack, 36 seconds, mystery, intrigue, ooh, destroying religion's limits. What does that mean? What do you do? So look, I want to start giving some real meat behind the message. Some real moxie behind the movement, right? Where does this come from? For over 15 years, I've had a message stored up inside of me that's been developing. It's been percolating, right? It's been growing. It's just been it started as a very small seed in the early 2000s. And now, well, there's some fruit to be handing out. And I want to be able to share that fruit with you guys. This message is for the one. It's not for the 99. And those who understand what that means will get this right away. Those who don't, I'll help you through this. Look, I believe in God. I love God. I've been living my life for Him the best I've known how, with a whole bunch of failure for about 19 years now. So when I first began trying to follow God or live the life I believe He wanted me to live, I knew nothing about spiritual things. I knew nothing about the will of God or what that even means. I never even heard the term. But what happened is that I got plugged into some people that, when it first started, some churches and some people around me, for the most part, a predominantly contracted mindset. Now, I didn't know that at the time, but when it first began, my relationship with these people, or going to these churches, or meeting these different pastors, what I started realizing was I was way further off base than I thought. Or at least I thought I was off base. Or at least I was led to believe I was off base. So I had these big dreams inside, right? Where I came from, I always felt like I had to get out and expand and break off the chains or break out of the shell. Whatever it was, I had to do something different. I felt it at 14 years old. That's when it began. That's when I got the nickname Instigator. Somewhere around that age is when it really starts resonating in my memory. So what that meant was I was irritating my sister, I was provoking her. My mom and dad did the best they could, man. It was all in love. They called me an instigator because I would instigate my sister. But then I started realizing as I got older, well, you know, to instigate means to make something happen. It's someone or something that makes something happen. So I wasn't really making my sister happen, but I was making her psychosis happen maybe, right? Driving her crazy. So I realized that God turns things inside out and makes them anew. He calls things that are not as though they were. He takes a whore and treats her like a queen, because that's who He is. Because she's not a whore in His eyes. She is His daughter. She is His most precious. She is the apple of His eye. She is not her behavior. The drug addict, the deadbeat dad, that was me. If you want to follow the story, it's in other places, but we're going to be doing more on this. For a 4-year span of my life, I was hooked on the smack. I was hooked on the pills. I was hooked on whatever else I could do. But nobody knew for a little while. But I became a drug addict, a deadbeat dad, and I was running around on my wife. But God didn't look at a loser and call me as I was. God said, "You're my son. You're a prince with the keys to the kingdom." So I looked at this word instigator and I'm like, someone or something that makes something happen. Well, I got this feeling inside me since I'm a teenager that says I want to make some greatness happen. I want to make some beauty happen for people. I don't want to live a small life. I don't want to live contracted. I don't want to live and die within the 3-mile radius of where I was born. That's on my birth certificate. I got to do some stuff. I don't know what it is, and I don't know the right way to do it, but I got to do it. So I got around these people, these pastors, these leaders. And now look, this isn't personal. So whoever you are, don't get bent. If you're getting bent, delete the video. Give me a thumbs down. Get off the page. This is for the person who it's for. And I'm telling you, if you give this a minute, I'm going to help you get free. This message will be your code to freedom, because success, trust me, is not a key, it's a combination. And I figured out some of the numbers, praise God. So check it out. I was being told, hey, you want to be financially free? You want to live a life of your dreams? You want to live on the beach? Look, you're being materialistic. You're being greedy. Money's the root of all evil. Look, if you're chasing down the materials, there's something wrong with your heart. And then I started realizing that when something owns you is when maybe we can get off track. Or maybe when we begin worshiping something other than our Creator is when we get off track. So I'm like, man, now I didn't look at it all this way, guys, in 2000, 2001, 2005, even 08, whatever it was. I didn't understand it in this way. I just knew that something inside me was unrested. It didn't sit right with me. What it was it was like I'd expressed something to good-hearted men who believed in me, sort of, and for the most part believed in God, except when it meant maybe something uncomfortable. But I don't want to get into something I don't understand. What I want to talk about is what I do understand, and it's the message for the one. It's the message for the prodigal. It's the message for those in the world who are calling you a whore, or calling you a deadbeat dad, or calling you a mindless millennial who's lazy and lacks ambition. It's all lies. It's all lies. That's not who you are. That is not at all who you are. You have been ingrained with a message to keep you limited because of somebody else's limitations in their own programming. Listen, here's the deal. What do we do when we get a virus in our computer? We do anything we can to get it off of there, eradicate it, eliminate it, reject it, right? This is what I'm gonna help you understand. Most of what you've been taught in churches is a virus. You need to understand that you need to detect the virus and reject the virus. And that's what Instigation Nation is for. Look, I don't care what your spiritual beliefs are. I don't care what you think about God and what you think you know about God and what you've been taught about God. I don't care if you're an elder in your church, if you're a pastor on a stage, or you have no idea and you're sitting in a crack house right now trying to recover from last night or this morning, and you happen to stumble across this video. Understand me. This message is for you. And I'm here to help you do it because I've been through this process. So I go through the uncomfortableness, right? I go through the unrest of feeling guilt and feeling shame because my quote unquote spiritual leaders are telling me that I'm materialistic, that I'm greedy, that I should relax, that I should stop trying to sell stuff, that I should just go to work, be happy, live small, give my small little tithe every week, and just come to the church potluck, eat the spaghetti, eat the fried chicken, eat the potato salad, act like you're happy to be there, act like you're somebody else that you're not, go back home, and then resume your normal life. Look, that's never what I could do. I could never be fake. The reason I felt so much unrest, the reason I felt so much man-made guilt and shame inside was that I did not have my eyes perfectly focused on what my Creator said about me, and instead I listened to what man was saying about me. And understand one thing, I don't care how good somebody's heart is, I don't care how much they think or you think they love you. If they are telling you something that's not the truth of what your Creator has said about you, it is not true. It is a lie. You need to detect the virus and reject the virus. Period. If you let it sit, it's going to grow, it's going to stifle you, you're going to live sad, you're going to live frustrated, you're going to live angry, and eventually you're going to go off track. And that's the reason that I ended up falling for a 4-year downward spiral into some of the worst behavior that somebody could engage in. Now look, what happened was over time, I got awakened to truth. I got awakened to see what God really said about me. And it began slowly but surely loosening the chains. It began slowly but surely creating clarity and lifting the fog. Now I want to make a confession to you. The chains aren't completely broken yet. The fog is not totally lifted yet. But I'm tired of living scared. I'm tired of living small. And I'm definitely tired of not reaching out my hand to bring others up who share this struggle that I've felt. It's kept my family limited, it's kept my friends limited, and it's kept the world limited because this message inside of me is going to set a lot of people free and create a looseness and an airiness and a freedom in your Creator, in your relationship with Him that you've been dying for on the inside. I don't care, again, I don't care if you think you know God or you don't know God, or you think that you got everything figured out about God. And plus, if you think you got everything figured out about where you come from and what your maker has made you and what he's and they are all about, whoo, this definitely isn't for you. And you already know that you ain't even gonna be here by then. So look, or by this point. So where we're going is everywhere that's going to open up the gates for you. It's going to create a clear path. Whatever that looks like. We don't know what it all looks like yet. But I know that there are people who need and who are dying for this message. So here, look, what I started to do was I started truly looking at scripture. I started truly looking at truth. I started looking at the desires of my heart in the light of infinity, in the light of the supernatural, instead of just swallowing what men and women from stage or sitting across from me trying to think they're gonna counsel me are telling me. And now look, I'm not slamming everything I've ever learned. Some of it was almost good. Most of it was maybe okay. But there was a few key elements that were lies. And they were based on other people's limitations and other people's rules and their religion. And by the way, I effing hate religion. I got no use for it, and neither do you. But I do have a relationship with my Creator. And if you follow long enough, and this message resonates long enough with you, I'm gonna help you develop a relationship with your Creator that you're gonna realize this is your best friend right here sitting next to you. Look, I've seen a lot of stuff, right? I see these silly little bumper stickers, and this is where the stuff comes from. These false teachings that indoctrinated me when I was younger in my faith, that kept me limited. Don't do this. Don't do that. Who's out there seeing the bumper sticker or the t-shirt or the hat that says, Jesus is my boss? What a crock of shit that is. Listen to me. He's not your boss. He's your best friend. There's nobody in this universe that loves you, cares for you, and thinks bigger of you than he does. I don't care what you've heard. I don't care what your current faith is. I don't care what it looks like. Now, I'm saying I don't care. It doesn't play a part in the message. It doesn't play a part in the truth. Understand, you have no greater fan than what the Jews called Yeshua Messiah, what the Western Americans call Jesus Christ, or who the Americans call Jesus Christ. Look, it's a Western thing, right? It's not only American. Listen, I'm not getting all doctrinal on you. I'm not getting all too theological. Listen, this isn't a Bible class. I don't have those degrees. All I have is real life experience and a whole lot of study and a whole lot of communication going up and down with my Creator to get to this point, and a whole lot of validation. So look, when we're talking about stuff like, oh, is it wrong to do this? Is it wrong to do that? Should I drink? Is it a sin to have alcohol? Am I being in sin by getting tattoos? Woo, boy, I might be in trouble. Look, none of that has any bearing on your relationship with your Creator. You have got to understand that. You want to be wealthy financially? None of that has a bearing on your relationship with God. None of it. Plus, if you're seeking Him, if you're seeking the truth, you're gonna find. If you're knocking, the door's gonna be answered. And if you happen to have a Mick Ultra in your hand, or a fancy craft beer in the hand, or you got a tattoo on your wrist of a cross, look, man, or maybe you got a tattoo of a skull and bones on your neck, hitting it off thug style. Look, it don't matter. That has no bearing. These are irrelevant conversations that people are having. And I'm here to bust it up. This is what disrupting religion is all about. So now that I'm finally getting free, I'm gonna begin a series of messages, a lifelong journey of handing out messages, and it all starts with the way I live my life first. Ask anybody around who knows me, understands, relates with me and my wife, our family, how we live, how we operate. What you see on the Facebook, what you see on the gram is exactly what you see when you show up in the house. It's who we are. We don't fake it. You're gonna come over, we might have a beer and Bible study. We might have some wine and wisdom. Who knows what it's gonna be, but we are real, we love you, and we're gonna bust the hell out of all the lies you've been taught, because the lies you've been taught, I don't care what the pastor's name was, I don't care how many degrees, and I don't care how fancy the pulpit is. There are lies infiltrating your mind and your spirit from the depths of hell. And I'm gonna help you get free from them. Instigation Nation is going to be your community of it. It ain't just me. This is not about me. This is about him, and it's about you. It's about them, your creator, and you. Your very first command that he ever gave you was be fruitful, multiply. That don't sound like scarcity to me. So look, if you want to grow, if you want to change, if you want to seek the truth and find the truth and live a life of abundance and freedom and health and prosperity, we're bringing you a prosperity gospel today. That's right. That's right. Because Jesus didn't come to planet Earth. The creator of the heavens and the earth didn't create a poverty gospel. He didn't send a scarcity gospel. He didn't tell his apostles, his disciples that he appeared to after he rose from the dead. He didn't tell thousands of people, go and tell them you can pay your rent. Go and tell them that you can pay your phone bill if you pray hard enough. Man, that stuff is garbage. It's nonsense. There's no such thing as a poverty gospel. Read the Proverbs, read the Psalms, and you're going to understand that God is a prosperity God, and it is what he intends for you. It doesn't mean there's not hard times. It doesn't mean there's challenges. It doesn't mean you're not going to get punched in the throat. None of that means that. But it does mean he's there to take you to the glory that you were born to live in. And Instigation Nation is your place to help make it happen. I love you. We will be back. This is only the beginning. Stay tuned. Anybody who feels somebody that just popped into your, or that you're thinking of somebody that popped into your head, somebody's been on your heart lately that this message might be able to touch, please share it with them. Go to the Facebook page, go to the Instagram page, go to the website, instigationnation.com. Look, there's not tons there yet. It's all coming, I promise. Join the nation, join the movement. We are going to help set you free. You are going to play a part in setting yourself free, your family free, and your friends. You owe it to yourself. Join the nation, join the movement, help us spread this freedom message. This is what we want to do. This is what we were born to do, and I'll spend the rest of my life doing it. I promise you. I have your back. I love you.